Greetings, fellow men. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and today I want to talk about esoteric women in Germany. Now, for quite a while now, I noticed that this occult, esoteric thinking, or magical thinking, as some people call it, is on the rise in Western countries, but especially in Germany. It often starts out as innocent and harmless, but it always becomes worse. And my observation is also that it is mainly women who are actually spending their money on these gurus and these meditation courses and these Asian trinkets, and it is mostly women who drive these movements. I would also suggest that every man especially avoids these women like the plague, because nothing good comes from hooking up with one of those weird hippie chicks. The problem is that sometimes you don't see it in the beginning, and many people are in long-term relationships or marriages with these women, and once they approach or even hit the wall, it only gets worse. It only ever gets worse. And in the end, what started out to be a cute girl who reads a horoscope once or twice a week will be a full-blown psychopath with turbans and crystal balls. Now, in this video, first I want to give a brief overview of the situation we have here in Germany, and then towards the end I want to give a real-life example of something that I would already call a cult that is here in southern Germany, which is funded mainly from the donations and from the payments of old post-war women. And this money, of course, comes from their husbands or their ex-husband. Now, I don't want to repeat all the theoretical groundwork on dealing with this phenomenon like the occult or theosophy or this divine witchcraft kind of ideology. I would just refer you kindly to Davison from the channel Feminism LOL. I linked down in the description below to a great video series, a YouTube playlist where she really dissects the connection between feminism and theosophy. I don't want to repeat all that. She did an excellent job, and I can just say feminism is not only appearing like a cult, it is a cult. It is a pseudo-religious cult, and it is called theosophy, and that was the origins, the root of feminism. It is connected to Kabbalah and witchcraft. So if you want to know more about these historical developments and the origins of this female goddess religion, please watch Davison's videos. So I think it is generally safe to say that women are more on the irrational side and have more of a spiritual, more qualitative, less quantitative and scientific understanding of the world. So you see that, for example, in black communities, in these Baptist churches, it's only fat old women for the most part. Also here in Europe, these church communities are basically just women, yeah? So some old men who have to go there. So women are more religious and they believe in supernatural, superstitious things more easily than men. Now, of course, as long as these women are hot and young and everything is still pointing upwards, we tend to look past these character flaws and we think it is kind of cute or innocent. Like, it starts with horoscopes and with green tea, and then a meditation here and some yoga there, and then maybe tarot cards, and all of a sudden she is into full-blown witchcraft, divination, and wants to read auras. And this is because they hang out with people who are like that and they get sucked into these cults. And especially when women hit the wall, they face an existential crisis. Yeah, men don't respond the way they used to. They are ignored. They don't get what they want by just waving their hair. Sects and cults always target weak people in these existential crises. They target these people who are in need of some help and guidance. You would find those people in the self-help section of your local bookstore, for example. And all I can say to you young guys, it only gets worse. I have never met a woman who said, oh yeah, in the past I've totally been into horoscopes and tarot cards, but now I studied physics and I read a lot about Austrian economics, and I think rational and quantitative analysis of the problems in the world are best used to solving these problems. You will never hear that. And everything that happens in the world, everything that happens in your daily lives will be discussed in the framework of auras, spirits, witchcraft, and magic. Now, if you ask now, where is the harm in all that? I will tell you. The harm in all that is that these cults and these seminars and these things that they buy cost a lot of money. And where do these weirdos, who probably will not have a job in accounting or engineering, where will they take the money from to spend on these cults? It is really like a drug. It is like a heroin addiction. And where do they take the money from? From their husbands, of course, or from their sons, or from their parents, or from some fuck buddy, right? All I can say is don't be that guy. Don't enable a crack whore, and also don't enable a esoteric cultist. Now here in Germany especially, this is not a fringe movement. I would say that at least half of the women in Germany are heavily superstitious, and they believe to more or less of a serious degree in this bullshit. They will not spend their whole money, of course, on that, but they are all in danger because they believe that stuff to begin with, and they like this kind of magic thinking, and once they hit a personal crisis, they will be easy prey for these cults. So 50% believe in that, and I think like 25% of them spend huge amounts of money on either homeopathy, expensive books, weekend meditation seminars, or alternative healing methods, or some weird gongs, or some weird incense from the Far East. So I really realized that when I went to a place that used to be a Benedictine monastery. So nowadays this place is not a monastery anymore, but some ex-monk who is also a Zen master turned this monastery into a full-blown meditation center. I would call it a cult headquarter. This whole place is basically a money printing machine that is fueled by the euros of impressionable, ignorant, post-war women. And I want to take this as an example because I came by there and I just stopped and I wanted to see what became out of that old monastery. And what I saw there was really, really interesting in terms of MGTOW, because what you saw there was a lot of post-war women, like 90% of the people there, and they had a little restaurant and a little esoteric bookstore. 90% of the people were overweight, bearded women with these ethnic clothes, you know, and weird hair and wooden pearls around their necks, and they just looked like weird religious hippies. For you Americans, maybe they're the ones who would live maybe in Sedona, but more on the heavy side. And they also have a website, and I could get some information there. So these seminars are actually like 400 euros a weekend. So you can imagine the kind of money printing machine that this cult headquarter has become. And also the bookstore is very interesting. It is actually about vegan food, it is about health, it is about pseudoscience, and then they have sections of all the world religions, and they try to bring that together. Like this monk, he went to Japan, I think, and he got introduced to Zen Buddhism, and he tries to bring Zen and Christian religiosity together somehow. What that is, though, it only works for people who have never been to Japan, I guess, and who don't know actual Zen Buddhism. I mean, I have lived in Japan for quite a while, and I know, for example, that discipline and being beaten by your master with a bamboo rod, for example, like you can see here at Mampukuji in Uji, Kyoto, where the young disciples of Zen Buddhism are trained in Japan, that is an integral part of their training. They don't tell that to these old hags, of course. But it would be interesting actually if these post-war women would take a weekend seminar in Zen Buddhism and get beaten up by some ex-monk with a bamboo rod. That would actually be quite hilarious, I think. But of course these eclecticists don't do that because they only take the aspects that are nice and marketable. and the fact that a lot of Buddhist monks in Japan actually go whoring, smoking and drinking after hours, that they don't tell to these weird German hippie women, of course. Now you find a lot about these meaning of life, self-help books, and what we can learn from Sufism, what Hinduism can tell us about cosmic universe, gamma rays, whatever, you know. It is really crazy, this whole bookstore. And I found also some things from Japan, for example, that have nothing to do with religion whatsoever, and you can buy them actually in a 100 yen, so in a dollar store in Japan, and here they sell them for 20 euros or something. So this is really a business model, and they make money with the ignorance and the emotional spiritual void of these old post-war hags. Now I really couldn't care less about these women. The problem is just that the collateral damage in their social network, in their families, is quite substantial. So they drain the resources of entire families, and of course a lot of these marriages end in divorce. So I actually heard from some friends and family that I still have in this area of Germany that a lot of the mothers of people I know ended up in this cultish center. Some of them were communist hippies in their youth. Some of them were good Catholic working girls. Some of them were rich Protestant housewives, and they all hit the wall, and they all ended bringing all their husbands or ex-husbands' money into this cult center where this ex-monk realized his dream of a sect headquarter. And then when I was a physicist at the university, and at lunch break you start googling weird stuff and you come across things like this. Yeah, I'm not kidding, this is actually serious. Quantum angel healing. These weirdos, they just take a couple of words, some vocabulary from modern physics, and they make a pseudo-religious healing cult out of that. I don't even know. This is ridiculous. I mean, this could be a parody, but I'm sure that they make good money with these scientifically illiterate people in Germany who have a lot of money from their husbands and boyfriends, but they have no intellect whatsoever, and they easily fall into that trap. Now, I just want to add, guys, I don't really think that religion is ridiculous or stupid or anything like that. I mean, I consider myself a Catholic myself, even though I'm more like an agnostic right now. I think I'm not really an active church goer. I don't really believe in that. As a scientist, I think I postpone judgment until I receive more data. But I just want to say that this cultish, eclectic, occultist stuff has as much to do with proper religion as quantum angel healing has to do with proper quantum physics. So in the same way as these con women use concepts or some vocabulary from modern physics in order to sell their crap, these ex-monks or these gurus, these hippies, they shamelessly take some concepts of the world's religious philosophical heritage and butcher it and use it as a marketing tool, as a gimmick in order to milk these women. Now what I want to say with that is, in the same way as you shouldn't trust a crack addict, you shouldn't trust a woman who is into this occult esoteric bullshit, because it is a money pit. It is a bottomless money pit. That's what it is. And you will be the poor sucker who has to pay for that in the end. So in the same way as you would avoid a heavily drug addicted crack whore, you should really not get involved with a woman who is into horoscopes, tarot cards and feng shui. And once again, in case you haven't realized it yet, it starts as cute and innocent, but it always gets worse. So maybe this is just a German or Central European problem, but I pretty much doubt it. So guys, let me know in the comment sections how this looks like in your country, if it is similar or if it comes in a different local flavor. Thanks for listening again, and catch you guys again soon. Have a great day. Servus, Kameraden.